What is up, guys? Giants01 here with another FIFA 16 formation review / guide. This one, we're going to be talking about the 3-5-2 formation. This is a 3-back formation, so a lot of people might be turned off thinking that defensive-wise, it could be really bad if you don't have the right players. So make sure you pay attention because I'm going to be talking about what are the best players for this formation, what are the best instructions to make sure that this formation is really strong on defense and really strong on the attack. So with the defense, those center backs, of course, you want them to stay back while attacking and to have normal interceptions. But it is very important, guys, that you have above average center backs in this formation in order for this defense to be really strong and really effective. You want to make sure that they at least have 70 pace and at least 80 defending, if not more. If you can get more pace, if you can get more defending than usual, definitely do it with all three of your center backs. While pace isn't nearly as important as in previous FIFAs, because this is a 3-back formation, you don't have those left backs and those right backs to help you out in the counterattack and get back in time to help slow down the attack. So you want to make sure that these center backs are quick enough to get back and stop those Aubameyangs when they're doing their counterattack. Now, it is also really important for those center backs, in order for them to be successful, to stay in their lanes. There are 3 center backs, so one gets the middle, one gets the right, and one gets the left. So you want to make sure you're constantly pushing them backwards and making sure they stay in their lanes. If they don't stay in their lanes, it's gonna be a big problem, and your defense is gonna be eaten alive. If there's 2 center backs on the same side of the pitch, let's say to the left side of the pitch, then it's gonna be so easy for them to cross it, switch this area of the pitch, and get wide open opportunities through the right side. So make sure you're constantly pushing them backwards and making sure they stay in their lane and that they're above average. Really important that your center backs are good, above average, and stay in their lanes in order for this defense to be successful. Now, goalkeeper, of course, just like any other goalkeeper, you want a good all-around goalkeeper. In my opinion, reflexes, positioning, and diving are the most important stats. So make sure you get somebody that's good for your chemistry and good at those stats. And of course, there's no instructions to put in there. For the center defensive mids, this is another really important part of this formation in order for the defense to be good. Usually when I have 2 center defensive mids, I like to have one that's more of a true center defensive mid that stays back, that has great defensive stats, while the other one's more of a true all-around center mid player that has above 70 defense but is also good on the attack. For this formation, I like to have both of them to be great center defensive mids, true center defensive mids that have defensive mentalities, that have at least high defensive work rates and low to medium attacking work rates. That way they stay back. If you can get them to have at least 80 defending, the better. You want to have good defending. That's the most important stat. You also want to have pretty good pace so they can help out. They can move quickly, and then good all-around stats, but mostly defended and pace are the most important stats. You want them to stay back while attacking and to cut passing lanes just like in any other center defensive mid formation I like to use. Always like to use stay back while attacking and to cut passing lanes. For the left mid and the right mid, guys, you must tell them to stay wide, get in behind, and stay forward. Since you already have so many defenders, this formation, one of the biggest pros is that if you have the right players at the center defensive mid and at the center back, it feels like a 5-back formation. So you don't need any more help on defense. Tell these left mids and right mids to stay forward. You want to have pretty good pace on these guys. They want to be good dribbling and good passing and good shooting. The most important ones are dribbling, shooting, and pace. So they can get in behind. You can get the ball to the middle, to your center attacking mids, to your strikers, and let these guys make some runs to the outside. Make sure they stay wide, they get in behind, and they stay forward so they don't waste any stamina going back. You already have 5 defenders. This could be a really strong defense. It can make it look like a 5-back formation with the right players. That's also a con. If you don't have the right players, this defense will be eaten alive. It won't just be bad, it will be horrible. So make sure you get those right players back there and that they stay in their lanes. Now, The other position, the center attack and mid, this one I really don't like to switch up anything other than stay forward since we already have all those great defenders back there. But other than that, instruction-wise, you keep them the same. You want this guy to be good at all-around stats, especially dribbling and shooting and passing. Those are probably the most important because he wants to be like the facilitator, get it to the strikers, get it to those wingers, to those left mids and right mids, and just make sure he's a good passing. And he could have good pace depending on your play style, but really the most important one is passing and dribbling. Lastly, guys, this is my first formation guide review that talks about a formation with 2 strikers. And what I usually like to do when it's just a sole striker is to tell him to stay central and be target man. But since this is 2 strikers, what I like to do is one of them to stay central and be target man. And then the other one, I like to tell him to stay central but get in behind instead of target man. And usually that is if there's a pacier player. Usually I like to have one all-around good striker that's more slower. He's got around 70 pace. He's great at shooting, great at dribbling, like a Lewandowski type, even though he's kind of fast, but something like that. He's a good all-around player. While the other attacker, the other striker, is a little bit more pacey. If you're playing a BPL, you can be like a Luke Remy or a Sturridge. Those really faster guys that you can really take advantage of and have them get in behind, make some nice little runs. Get it to your target man striker and let him pass it to that other striker who's making a nice little move. And they complement themselves really well. This formation can be so deadly in the attack. Probably the best formation for attack if you have the right players and if you have the right defense. But again, guys, without the right defense, I can't stress this enough. It's like the 3rd time I'm already talking about this. If you don't have the right players on defense, you don't have the right instructions, it's gonna be problems on defense. It's not just gonna be bad, it's gonna be horrendous. But if you have the right players on defense, it's gonna feel like a 5-back formation. And the attack with those 2 strikers and all those players, that's 5 people that are there for just attack. That could be a really deadly attack. It's got great balance, great positioning. They're really good spacing, so it can really, really be useful. But that's basically it, guys. I hope you guys found this formation review / guide really helpful, and you definitely want to check this formation out. Don't be afraid just because it's a 3-back formation. If you had the right defenders, it's gonna be deadly. If you guys like this video, please give it a like, comment, share it with all your friends, get it to as many people as possible. Click on the left if you haven't seen some of my tutorials. I got over 20 tutorials that'll help you out, I'm sure. Click on the right if you want to see my Road to Division 1 series, which is like a Road to Glory series. Click on the bottom left if you want to see all my other formation review. I got 4-2-3-1-2 and the 4-3-3 fourth variation. And then click down to the bottom right to subscribe so don't miss out on any future tutorials, guides, anything like that, tips and tricks videos. Thank you guys so much.